Gave us this question. Easton is already a regional shopping center. How many towns this size have as many grocery stores as we have? We're also a regional finance center, a regional insurance center, a regional real estate center, a regional automotive and medical community. We have served that role for many, many years. Easton designated certain areas in our community for large retail establishments so that our community would be planned in an orderly fashion. Large retail stores provide those dual-income families a place to shop after 5 p.m. It also causes individuals not to have to travel large distances to shop. This, in turn, provides people with the opportunity not to have to spend as much money on gasoline, put as many hydrogen into the atmosphere and pollute the bay. So I see that we are planning an orderly development where you have green belts around the town to protect us from excessive development, and we will continue to be a regional center for many different things.
I took this right out of the most recent Easton comprehensive plan. In short, we view the role of new major retail in Easton as limited. Specifically, it is limited to the build-out of existing shopping centers, that is, Waterside Village. I think it's fair to say the plan implies that we'd welcome such development if it would spur the redevelopment of some of our older, less successful, and coincidentally less attractive shopping centers. Beyond that, it is hard to see new major retail on the horizon, and our regulations are set up accordingly, as we only permit such use, major retail, if it is located in or adjacent to an existing shopping center via the PUD process. That's planned unit development. Furthermore, if the base zoning on which a planned unit development is established is residential, major retail cannot be included in the proposal. These two restrictions together would seem, without actually analyzing the possibilities, to limit the number of potential sites for a major retail application to no more than a handful at most, maybe as few as a couple outside of actual redevelopment of existing shopping centers.
Waterside Village is a travesty. In 2003, the town council offered to develop that property with a very specific 2001 zoning program. I am in possession of the original town council reviewed architectural elevations for what that village should look like, from the St. Michael's Road, from the bypass, and elsewhere. It was to include housing. It was to include commercial properties. It was to include office space. It was to include a wonderful looking waterside restaurant housing complex where Chili's now exists. This was mismanagement of the highest order. It was an approved design and it did not move forward. So I guess you can gather I'm not in favor of big boxes. Thank you.
I too read the comprehensive plan that Easton came up with, which I have here, by the way, and I agree with most of it in there. Since 1997, the town council has held the position that big box retailing should have only a limited role to play in Easton. The new retail opportunity should be given expansion to existing establishment, especially if part of an existing shopping center. That would be followed up by the development of new sites identified in the plan as appropriate for new regional scale commercial development. We are, as Al pointed out, we already are a regional area. Our regional covers primarily Talbot County and to a lesser extent Caroline, Dorchester, and Queen Anne's County. I don't have any desire to us become any bigger of a regional shopping center destination than that. Existing retail establishments that seek to build a new store and a new site should couple that application with detailed plans for use of the existing store. I believe that too many box stores can easily become a distraction. I think we should sit on the development of them for a while after the next two big ones have been completed and evaluate their impact on the community. And I would point out that they did some surveys just to show how people feel. In this 2010 survey, 48% of the people felt that they had the right amount of shopping centers, and 36.4% felt there were too many. So they all seem to agree with that. And design standards 78% felt the current design standards have created new additions to the town and don't go far enough. So I think the town has said, we've had enough, we don't want to get any bigger.
I would agree that that's what the town has said. I think unfortunately, it's more important what the town does. I see Councilman Wendowski in the back, and I was watching a meeting where he lamented the fact that the town council had voted Easton would grow 2% and it grew 4%, and then the next year they voted it would grow 1% and it didn't grow at all. You can pass all the resolutions that you want, but if you set up a structure for something to happen, it's going to happen if there's an advantage to somebody to take advantage of it. And that's, I think, what's happened here. We don't want any more of the big boxes than we have. We feel like for this region, we've really saturated. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to trade one store for another. We're going to open a big sporting goods store, and then another store across the street from it is going to close. And people and jobs will simply migrate from one place to another. They probably won't be, if these large retailers are not known to be generous in their pay and benefits, some are, I'm sure. So they may not even be as good at jobs as the jobs that we will be losing. So you do have to have some respect, I think, and concern and protection for the small business people, because these are the people that made the community exactly what we love. And we're kind of hard on them when we put them at a competitive disadvantage over and over and over again by not developing the kinds of standards that allow the council or the planning commission to simply say, no, we just don't need another one.
I do agree that we are changing into a shopping destination in Easton. But on the growth and moving forward, we need to do infill development and using the buildings that are sitting vacant now for future development. Not to be building something new on the outside of town. As far as large stores, only reason I could see is if it met the needs of the community, and the community would have to have a say on that as to whether they wanted that type of a store that was a larger store. That's the only way I can see that would be the right way to handle that. So, and that's, but basically, we do have a lot of empty buildings, and they need to be used and taken advantage of.
Well, I was on the council when we had a big explosion in this community about big boxes. And as a result of the community demands and requirements, I think we took particular care, as I think has been stated already, to have boundaries around the town where we would not have these big boxes or any development as far as that's concerned. And our goal also, if you look at the comprehensive plan, says that we would stress infill development. Well, I don't think that we need any more large stores. However, what is the demand of the community? We have just got to be realistic and find out, as I said before, why are the businesses not staying here? What is it? Is it the nature of the business? Or is it that there's not enough economy, for people to shop, at these various, stores? They don't have the money, no matter what it is. It's a small business or big business. They're not going to have patrons. But in terms of it being a regional destination, I think the fact is that it's much bigger than maybe we anticipated or we could see in the future, because people do come here from various locations to shop here. Well, they come here too because of the tourism. So while you're here, you're going to shop. So you have to meet the demand of the of the public. But I do hope that we don't build on every blade of grass. That's just troubling to me.